For all the people getting paper, we are not for sale. For all the doubters and the haters, we are not for sale. For all the movers and the shakers, we are not for sale. For all the givers and the takers, we are not for sale. Nah, we are not for sale. We are not for sale.
Episode 6 of the It's Been a Minute podcast. I am your host, Trevor Augustus. My partner and co-host over here is Angus AJ Johnson. How you feeling, man? I was doing
great, brother.
Great, man. It's
doing
good
great.
To hear.
Good to see you once again.
Today we have a very special Super Bowl edition of the podcast, man. And coming with us to talk about all things football this week, Super Bowl, playoffs, and all type of topics here we got tonight for you guys. He goes by the name of Jonathan Pollock. He's a former high school, not teammate of Junior, but they went to the same high school, actually. He's also went to Youngstown University. After he went to Youngstown University, he stayed on as a graduate assistant, later coaching quarterbacks at King's College. Most recently, he's been coaching at Dr. Phillips High School last season. He's also been heavily involved with youth football and helping the next generation of stars, man. Jonathan Pollock, man, welcome to the show.
Hey, thank you guys. I really appreciate it. Appreciate the time. Appreciate allowing me to be here.
Yes, sir.
Talk some
Yes,
football
sir,
with you guys.
man.
I'm excited.
Please like, share.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah, Jonathan that was my boy in high school, man. That was my boy. So, class of 2016.
Yes, sir.
Almost,
Yeah.
yeah, like the 10-year reunion, I think, coming up this year. So,
Yep. I've
crazy.
seen
It's
some on
been some
social
years.
media. It'll be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see what happens, man. This man's a
Yeah.
father now. Last time I
Yeah.
seen him, he was a Rugrat.
That's why I got all these wrinkles.
Before we get started, man, please like and share and subscribe and tell your people to listen to the It's Been a Minute podcast. We are on Spotify, Apple, YouTube. Like I said, man, tell your people. The fans is what makes this thing kick,
Yes,
bro.
sir.
So please tell everybody. Please like, share, and subscribe, and we're gonna get right into it, man. Let's not bury the lead here. I think we got a game on Sunday. I believe so, right? Anybody heard about it? Pretty big deal.
Yes, sir.
Pretty big
Yeah, I
deal.
think I
only
heard
two
about one.
teams playing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I heard
Already.
of it too. I think it's called the Super Bowl.
Just
Yeah, it's okay. You know what I'm saying? A little
Hey.
bit of a
Yeah.
The Bucks are not playing, so I'm just wondering who's making my ribs. this
Always
Sunday.
worried about
That's
food.
the only thing I'm worried about.
Always worried about food.
Since my team is not actually in it, I don't really care. Nothing's
Hey, he gonna watch the game and pick the guy with the best uniform. That's all he gonna do. Yeah, man.
That's literally it. I'm just trying to really rep the 2018 draft class. Out of all quarterbacks, Mr. Sammy D is the one
Yeah.
that makes it. That's amazing. That's very interesting.
This
I did
This
not see that
upcoming-
coming, to be honest with you. I wasn't
Yeah.
high on Sam coming out of USC. I wasn't big on Sam. I thought he just tried to force the ball in there a little too much for my liking personally. Just turned the ball over too many times, going up a level in football, going to the pros. You got better defensive coordinators, just better all around players you're going against. And I wasn't big on him, but I think it kind of shows you not all quarterbacks and not all situations are created equally. I mean, look exactly who we've got playing in the Super Bowl. We've got a guy who was drafted high, just like Sam, but went to a great organization, has a great head coach finally. He had to go through, I believe, one or two to be able to get this good head coach, but he's got a great front office who knows what they're doing, and they've lifted him up by putting people around him. That's the ideal
Absolutely.
situation coming out of the draft.
Yeah.
Drake May, obviously, is who we're talking about. And then you've
Mhm.
got Sam Darnold, goes to where all quarterbacks go to die, it seems like these days. The Jets, has to get moved around, goes to the Panthers, then he goes to the Vikings. Vikings says, see you later. We got JJ McCarthy. I can't even remember. He might have done a stint with San Francisco. Maybe I'm making that up in my head. And then finally ends up there at the Seahawks. Someone finally believes in him, gives him gives him that bag, and look what he does.
not sure what happened to his screen. But no, I definitely agree with that. It's because I definitely think that you're right. It's like the ideal situation that every quarterback is looking for is to come into a winning culture of organization. Like I was thinking about it. I was like, Mr. Crap has to be enormously happy right now because it just seems like he can't do nothing but win right now. It doesn't matter who's on his team. Yeah, he went through a couple of years of like a dry spell, but I mean now he's back with another young Tom. It looks like, and so maybe even a little bit more athletic with a better spin on the ball. So, you know, you just have a winning culture there. You have a really great front office, good coaching staff. Vrabel knows the culture because he's played for the culture as well. So he wants to win just as much. It's because he knows what it means to win there in that environment, what that fan base is looking for. So um, it's awesome to see Drake May in his situation. But then Sam, it just kind of it is really a testament to show you that your situation it really does matter. I always tell people like the Jets. It only took Aaron Rodgers, one of the greatest and most accurate quarterbacks of all time, 4 plays to realize that not even him can make it there. I mean, he tore his Achilles in 4 plays because his offensive line is just absolutely atrocious.
Yeah.
And that was the first drive of the season. What was it? The 2024 season, 23 season? And so
24.
I think it was 23 or 24. Yeah, so something like that. And so it's just not every situation is ideal. It sucks, but it's good seeing that some quarterbacks, unlike some, are able to stick with it mentally. Is because with Sam Darnold, what it took for him to be in the situation he is now is to have that mental capacity to keep it together.
Yeah.
I mean, you're a top high draft pick. I believe he was the first draft pick, wasn't he?
No, he was. I want to
He
say
was number
3.
2,
He was 3. I think
3.
3 or 4.
It was Baker. Then it was
There was a. I want to say there's a defensive player in between. He didn't go to
Was it Josh Rosen in the first? Was it Josh Rosen?
Josh
Because I
Rosen.
know he's the one that no one talked. I think it was Baker, Josh Rosen, and Sam Darnold, or something like that.
No, 3 quarterbacks didn't go in a row. I'm telling you. What you're at 2018?
Yeah.
Since we're waiting for him to get back. Yeah, okay. I was right. It went. Cleveland was number 1 with Baker. The Giants took Saquon at number 2, and then the Jets took Sam Darnold at 3.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And so, wow, that's very interesting right there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so they only had Daniel Jones at that time too, and that's another thing. We were seeing a resurgence in Daniel Jones as well. So,
Well, I mean,
I think that the last few years has really shown that it really does depend on your situation because you've had some quarterbacks that have jumbled around. We've seen Baker take the Bucks to the playoffs a couple of years in a row. This year, not so much success where it kind of all fell apart due to a lot of injuries and camaraderie because of that, and scheming, I think. But as well as that, you just see that 2018 class show you like, hey man, like we're better than people are giving us credit for. Not all of us have actually been put in the right situation. We see what Bryce Young and CJ Stroud situation happened. So,
yeah.
and we haven't really seen that completely play out
No,
going forward in the future. So
that's going to be
yeah.
really interesting because I think it's really gone back and forth with those 2 guys specifically. I mean,
Mhm.
nobody was high on CJ Stroud. They were all harping down on him because of the litmus test, I believe, when he was coming out.
Yeah.
And that it wasn't very high. People were calling him dumb, and then he goes and has one of the best rookie seasons ever. Now,
Yep.
I don't want to say Bryce Young fell flat in his face. He's not going into what we just talked about, an ideal situation necessarily.
Mhm.
The past year or 2, I personally think the pendulum has swung back the other way.
Mhm.
You had to ask me right now, who would you rather have at quarterback? I'm taking Bryce Young.
Yeah, I would take the same thing.
I
CJ
watched
Stroud has
Bryce
shown you time and time again that it's his defense that is complemented
Yeah.
his play.
He looks like at times when he gets a lot of pressure in his face, he looks like he's just playing hero ball, and he's getting out of the system. He's getting out of his reads. He's not keeping his eyes downfield anymore. The second you really get on him, he's already bailing out of that pocket or just trying to dump it off real quick. Where you've got Bryce Young, he's hanging in the pocket. He's able to read the defense and on consistent plays, getting the ball out when it needs to be out to the right guy. And it's impressive to see.
Yeah. And you have to understand too that Bryce Young wasn't what the organization of Carolina wanted, or even they didn't hire a coach for him. The coaching staff didn't draft around him. They didn't scheme for him at all. They wanted CJ Stroud.
Yep.
It wasn't until the owner's wife enjoyed that dinner with Bryce Young that everything kind of changed at the very last minute. So it kind of took some time for him to kind of get acclimated. And so that's just like another little example of like how these quarterbacks sometimes are not put in an ideal situation and how it kind of takes them a couple years to deal with it. Now, what's interesting is that it took Sam Darnold 7 years, and someone of his journey in his career, you would never expect him to one be starting in a Super Bowl for a team, but to take a team to the Super Bowl. And I mean, I think the only thing that Sam Darnold's such like problem was in the last few years, even with that Minnesota team, was just turning the ball over at the wrong times. I heard Skip Bayless say this when he was about to play the Bucks, that it's going to be a very close game until the very last moment he'll throw an interception, and Baker will do what Baker does. And it's funny because that's exactly how that game ended. It ended 38-35 with them going back and forth, and Sam Darnold threw an interception on the last drive, and Bucks went back down, kicked a field goal to win the game. So I think that's what we've been waiting to see in the playoffs right now, what he gave us in Minnesota last year, whereas him turn the ball over eventually. But the reason why he's in the Super Bowl is because he hasn't turned the ball over. And so I want to see if he's able to keep that up. And then going forward, is he able to be this new version of himself where he kind of is very consistent with keeping the ball on his side, either going into the end zone or just throwing it away, because he does force a lot of balls in there. Whereas Drake May on the other side, what was he like, averaging 80% at one point of the year of accuracy? So
I mean, he's
you like
MVP.
you can't turn the ball over on the Patriots. You can't.
Not against that defense, not against Vrabel. I mean, Vrabel will eat you alive if you start throwing interceptions or really just turning the ball over in general.
Yeah.
That's in my opinion, one of the top head coaches in the league. I'm a big Vrabel.
Oh, of course.
Both for scheme and for culture. I think what he brought to Tennessee, they're going to have a hard time. And I'm a big Robert Saleh guy too, but I don't think Robert Saleh brings the culture changing atmosphere that Vrabel does. And obviously, Vrabel's going to walk into the Patriots because he's been there, he's played there, he knows the culture in New England. But I don't think anybody could have walked into New England and done what Vrabel did this year.
Absolutely. And it's been nice to see the success of both of these new coaches, especially seeing how we've seen in the last decade a high turnover in coaches after 1 or 2 seasons. And so we'll definitely see how that plays a part with them going forward. But it's a good start for both Mike McDonald and Mike Vrabel. They're a good fit for both their teams. I do think it is going to come down to, it's either going to be one or the other. It's going to be like flying bullets left and right, like it's Peyton versus Brady, or it's going to be a very defensive game. And I think it's because once you start turning the ball over on the Patriots, Vrabel is going to, and I think that's what they're going to scheme. They're going to force Sam Darnold to make plays. I think, you may even be able to look back at how the Bucks played the Chiefs. I know I mentioned the Bucks a lot. I love the Bucks, but it's just, if you see the way the Bucks played the Chiefs when they had Tyreek Hill, where they double team him and they double team Travis Kelce, and they let everybody else be one-on-one or play in a zone. And they just essentially made Patrick Mahomes have to make play after play after play after play, being that they were missing 2 offensive linemen. And so I think if I was Mike Vrabel, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to make Sam Darnold, I'm going to double team JSN, and I'm going to double team AJ Barner, and I'm literally putting everybody else, like it's either 2v1 or we're sharing a zone with each other. and I'm making Sam Darnold make tough plays, or I'm making them run the ball all day. And I'm going to cause them to make turnovers is because we have a quarterback that's highly accurate, and we have Stephon Diggs, we have Boucher, we have our own running back. So it's like it could be a back and forth, or it could be a high blowout. I think Patriots way, but we'll see what happens. It'd be nice to see Sam Darnold win it.
It would.
Yeah.
Welcome back, Trevor.
Welcome back.
Yeah, I was messing with something with my cords and my camera got disconnected. That's what happened. I'm like, what? And then it got kicked. I don't know. Anyway,
That's a big toe, bro. That's a big toe.
That's what I get for messing with stuff.
Oh, jeez.
And man, you need to put some socks on that big toe, man. I stop playing footsie with your cords, dude.
Yeah, but I do think, like, man, I can't help but think, like, I know Justin Jefferson right now is like screaming at the mountaintops because listen, this man is in Minnesota's front office, like saying, "What are you doing? What are we really doing, bro? Like, you let that man get out the door, and now he's in the Super Bowl.
Why do you think the GM just
like,
got fired?
I know he's sick. Yeah. The GM over there using Madden to build a team. Like, bro, what are we doing out here?
I mean, as a Michigan fan, I love JJ, though. As a Michigan fan, if he didn't have the injuries, I think it would have been a good decision. And I don't think anybody that had Baker or Sam Darnold expected them to play the way that they played. But, I mean, dang, I get it, because JJ is probably like, yo, like, we had a Super Bowl quarterback. Whether he wins the Super Bowl or not, we had a Super Bowl quarterback. And you gave me two dudes with a broken knee. And it's just like, come on. That's tough.
Yeah. I don't.
I'm not high on JJ personally, but we don't have to go into that.
Me neither. I've never been. I've never been high on JJ McCarthy.
Hey, you know what? Who did Michigan play? They just beat the living piss out of. It wasn't Penn State, was it? Where they ran the ball for like 40 something times that game.
Yeah, I remember that game.
Yeah.
I mean, when Harbaugh,
I believe so.
We're going to run the ball every single play in the second half and not even give our quarterback an attempt. That tells you something. You know what I mean?
You know how demoralized, you know how that is?
As a former coach, I'm looking at that and I'm thinking, okay, not only do you not think your quarterback can get the job done, you don't even trust him to keep the defense guessing.
Wow.
You don't trust him to, nothing. You are fine with telling that defense, we're going to run it every single play, and we don't care if you stop us.
Because you think about
that's very true.
When you're running the football, like, it's a matter of, like, it's about running the football at its core is about moving a man against his will.
Yep.
So the thing is, if you're going to hand the ball off, like, 40-something odd times, like that particular game, you're telling your opponent, I'm going to line it up. We're going to run it down your throat. And I dare you to stop. I dare you to stop us. And in that game, he couldn't.
Yeah, it's plain as that. Yeah. I'm more physical than you. When we take this field today, I'm snatching your soul. That's all the offense is telling that defense all day.
John Harbaugh said, I don't trust our quarterback so much. I got to go get Connor Stallion to cheat for us.
Just to make it easy. Trevor, did we just convert Angus right now? Is that because I think
we are.
Second, and I think
we are.
Hey, we still won. I still like my dog JJ. He got it done for us.
Yeah.
Any quarterback of Michigan that beats Ohio State and Michigan State and Iowa State in the same year, and Indiana, hey, you're beloved by us. It's like Trevor knows this. It's like Blake Bortles. It's like how Floridians feel about Blake Bortles. You're beloved by us. 10-0, and you took your team to the AFC Championship against
Indiana's
Tom Brady.
Been trashed for years. That's not like a statement, though. You mentioned Indiana and Iowa.
Iowa State was nice for a couple years. They were tough.
Bro, the Big Ten is Michigan and Ohio State, and that's it.
They had a tough defensive line. I'll say that. They had a tough defensive line.
Bro, the Big Ten is Michigan and Ohio State, and then everybody else.
Whoa.
Michigan State. Hey, Michigan State was tough for some years.
It's not.
Michigan State was tough.
Ohio State. Hold on.
I'm just saying.
Penn State?
I can't let that go.
Penn State before they wanted to start touching boys. Penn State was
That's
good.
Crazy. Whoa.
Okay.
Before, hey,
Back up. Penn State has one bad year, and you guys are writing them all.
one bad
That's
year.
great.
One bad year.
Hold on. Just because they haven't gotten to the Natty doesn't mean they haven't been in the top of college football for the past what?
No, they're still good. They're still good, but they had a couple. They were really good. Then they took a dip because of the Sandusky years and the scandal afterwards. Obviously, you're not going to get as high recruitments after that. That was like probably 20 years from now. Like we probably were kids when that happened.
Exactly.
Probably like 8 or 9.
Yeah.
But I mean, after that, it took them a couple years to get back into like recruitment.
I'm talking
where players actually want to go again.
The past 10 years.
Past that, yeah, they've been good. I mean, you had Michael Parsons that came from
25 all 10 of those years in college football. How are you going to
have Saquon
down?
I'm going to say for the Big Ten for the last 5 to 7 years, the only teams that have been a real threat are Michigan and Ohio State.
I'll say I disagree with that. I think you are going based off national championship appearance and wins.
Correct.
But in my personal opinion, if you're ranked in the top 25, you're a threat to anybody in the country.
Okay.
For a team to go 8 years ranked in the top 25, you have to give them their flowers for that. Now, don't get me wrong. What Indiana did this year was
I agree with that.
But I'm following with Trevor here, and I think this is what he was getting at was, don't get me wrong, it was amazing. You did it with a great quarterback. He won the Heisman. He's probably going to go first overall. Awesome. I'm more about consistency. Show me you can do it for the first year.
Yeah.
But
I agree.
That's true.
I agree. You may have converted.
Yeah. Going back to what I was saying about Penn State, I'm not willing to write them off. I think they're going to be all right.
All right. But we'll see what happens. Shout out to my boys in the Go Blue era in Ann Arbor, Michigan, with the big house.
Hey, all I know is last time the Florida played y'all, we beat y'all. We put foots in y'all. That's all I remember.
Man, we ain't worried about no Crocs. Man. Oh. That's what I think about the Gators. Y'all are foot apparel. That's all. Foot apparel and drinks for the sideline.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's what y'all was when we played y'all.
Hey, y'all pray to Tim Tebow up there. Y'all wish he was still there.
You pray to Tom Brady.
I don't pray to no Tom Brady, man. TB12 maybe, but ain't no Tom Brady.
Desmond Howard.
Actually, you know what? Tom Brady just a little bit. We miss him.
Denard Robinson. Just a little bit. Please come back.
With the Patriots in Atlanta.
Say that again. I'm sorry.
What year was the Super Bowl with the Patriots and Atlanta?
I believe that was
2016.
2016.
2018.
Yeah. It was like 2016, 2017 or something.
It's funny you mentioned praying to Tom Brady. My roommate in college and I are watching that Super Bowl, and it gets to halftime, and the dude's from Ohio and is somehow the biggest Patriots fan you'll ever meet. Obviously, we all know what was happening at halftime. Atlanta was leading by a pretty good margin, right? He gets down on his hands and knees and prays to Tom Brady at halftime. And then we all know the story of what happened in the end. And I'm just sitting there. And I'm like, there is no way this guy just got down on his hands and knees and prayed to Tom Brady, and it worked.
Oh, hey, you know what's funny? Because it was funny watching that Super Bowl. Because I don't even think me and Trevor ever talked about that Super Bowl. And when I was watching that Super Bowl, I remember I was watching with some friends, and they're like, "Oh man, they finally got Tom Brady. Matt Ryan's finally gonna get one." And I was the only one in the room. I was like, nope. I was like, they're not just playing Tom Brady. They're playing Bill Belichick.
Yeah.
And I was like, this game will be a lot closer coming down to the end than people think. Even at 28-3, I was just like, man, I was like, for some reason, something's telling me that it's going to come back. Then they come back, and I was so happy because, as I made it clear, being a Bucs fan, I did not want to see anybody in the NFC South win. So that was nice. It's nice. We appreciate your prayers.
I got you to that.
Yeah. Your soapbox.
Well,
all right, Trev, now that you're back, I know you want to take back over the show.
Yeah, man. No, we some great conversations. Now we've kind of, I think we before we kind of move on, what was the final say for both y'all in the Super Bowl? Like, y'all picking Seahawks?
I've got
Yeah.
Seahawks.
Yeah, me too.
I would love to see Sam Darnold win. I just think it depends on the play. If I'm being honest, I got Seahawks too. I just think that if he turns the ball over once, it will be the Patriots game to win or Patriots game to lose. I think.
I agree in the
Yeah.
I don't think that defense and Mike Vrabel is going to lose out on opportunities of scoring after turnovers. And I just think with a quarterback the way that Drake May has been so accurate this year, you just can't turn over the ball with an accurate quarterback like that. It's like turning the ball over against Aaron Rodgers. Like he's always going to score every single time.
Yeah. I think the difference in the ball game will be Sam Darnold. We all know, like I think we said this before, he's due for one pick, at least.
Yeah.
And we haven't really seen much of that throughout the postseason. So hopefully if you're a Seahawks fan, you don't see that because turnovers will get you beat. And sometimes, much like Josh Allen, he can do it in the worst possible times.
Mm-hmm.
I believe in Vrabel's defense and what he's been able to do. I do think that Sam Darnold has he's the more experienced quarterback, obviously. I think JSN obviously will be a factor. I think Kenneth Walker III being a factor, him getting more reps now that Charbonnet is probably not going to play. I do think that will play a factor. Obviously, and then obviously, the Seattle's defense is like we talked about at the beginning. It's not quite the Legion of Boom. It's dang near close though. It's dang near close. Sure. So I do think the Seahawks will take it just based on those factors. Yeah, like I said, I think Drake May he has time. Even if he doesn't win, he has time. The Patriots have once again found their quarterback for the future. So that's my thoughts on that.
Yeah, I think as long as Sam Darnold and JSN have a connection with Ken Walker III, I think you have the potential of them returning back to the NFC Championship game and being a threat to San Francisco. I'm not sure how Philly will look next year. I'm not sure how Detroit will look next year. But I know Chicago is going to come back and have something to say. The Rams are always going to be in the mix. I'm not sure how the Bucs are going to look this next year. Not sure how Atlanta or Carolina is going to look next year. The Packers, see what they have to say next year. But the NFC is that I think both conferences this year kind of was a complete flip of who we expected to be in the last 4 games. And so being what we got, and I'm happy to see both the Patriots and the Seahawks make it to the Super Bowl, man. Congratulations to both of those teams and those fan bases, families of the teammates as well. So it's going to be a very interesting game. It's going to be very interesting. I would love to see no turnovers and just back and forth. It would be fun that way. I think that Kansas City-Philadelphia game where it was high scoring was probably one of the best Super Bowls in a long time due to the lack of turnovers and the high scoring of just going back and forth. So it'll be fun. But I want to ask a question really quickly. What is your favorite Super Bowl food that you're looking forward to this weekend? Because I'm looking forward to some ribs and some mac and cheese, baby.
Wings.
Jonathan, you go, man.
I'm a big wing guy.
Wings?
Man,
yeah,
I already know. My kids are going to be running around the house.
Yeah, same here.
They're going to be having fun. Mom's going to be in the kitchen making, all of the Super Bowl food. I'm going to have a beer next to me. I'm going to have a bowl of wings, and I'm going to go to town. I'm at my notepad, and I'm going to be writing down notes as I go through, watching everything. That will be my chaotic bliss for the night.
That sounds like a football coach. That sounds like a football coach.
Most definitely. Yeah, wings. I think because they're so quick and easy and they're filling.
Yep.
Like get you some garlic Parmesan wings with some ranch dressing, and some lemonade.
Ooh-wee. Some lemon pepper.
Yeah, that
lemon pepper and garlic parm back to back. I'm good.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Have you guys ever had garlic honey though? Garlic honey?
Yeah.
Ooh. Hey man, you're gonna have to try that out. Garlic honey with some blue cheese? Man, y'all don't know, man. I tell you.
I think you just gotta pull up with the wings.
Right. Yeah, hey, man, pull up, man.
We have to do we may have to do a in-person podcast one of these days.
I'm here for
do a little potluck.
There you go.
Shoot. Well, now that we all got our picks and things, we can go ahead and move on. Trade deadline. NBA trade deadline. It ends in 2 days, but it's been relatively quiet. we've had a lot of noise today, but I think obviously the biggest name in this entire sort of ethos and speculation and conversation has been about Giannis. His name has been shopped around for a couple of teams, so let's get the conversation started. Where do you see Milwaukee making a move on Giannis? And if so, where do you think he fits the best at? And where do you think Milwaukee can get the bang for their buck and getting something good in return?
You want to take this one, Angus? You want me to go first?
Oh, you can go first. I'll go last on this.
All right. I don't think they make the move. I don't. And I get it. I know he's getting frustrated. Birds are chirping. You know, people are whispering. But I think it all comes down to look around the league. Who has the ammo to give Milwaukee something in return? Because it's not just going to be picks. You can't just trade a bunch of ones for Giannis. You've got to get something else in return. And
yeah,
who's got it? It's got to be a multiple team trade, even if it's going to happen. First off, and I just don't see anyone giving up the ammo it's going to take. Because okay, let's say you do, all right, and I don't know. I don't want to put on any scenarios because then we get too far into the weeds on it. But let's say you do give up a 2 stars and a bunch of ones. Giannis wants to go somewhere where he can compete immediately. That's the whole point, right? So how much are you gonna have to give up and still be a championship team for Giannis? That's why I just don't see it happening. That's my opinion on it.
Absolutely. I totally agree with that. I think my only indifference to that is that when you're looking at the current landscape or the current big stars that have been traded and how it's happened, like let's look at Dallas for instance. When they traded Luka Doncic, no matter how they did the situation and how messed up it was, or how people thought it was unfair, or stupid, or they fumbled the bag or whatever, and now Nico Harris has been like, doesn't matter, right? Dallas was able to give many young talent from that and picks now have Cooper Flag as well. So it's like they were able to somewhat come back from that in a profitable way. And now, yes, they haven't seen the success they've seen with Luka with Cooper yet, and they have to wait. But from the eye test, I think we all can tell Cooper Flag looks amazing, and he eventually will be, a playoff. They will be a playoff team, and he'll be one of their leading players. So when you look at that and you're looking at Milwaukee's situation, like you said, who is out there that can give them that in return with not only draft picks, but also current talent? And I don't think there's really anybody out there. I think the Warriors have been one of the biggest names mentioned for the longest years because people want to see Giannis and Steph matched up. But I mean, the talent that they're looking for plus the draft picks, it's just not necessarily there yet. Like Jonathan Kuminga, there's not enough. There's too much what ifs with him. And then you're giving Jimmy Butler, which is someone that just had tore his ACL and is out for the rest of the season. Yep. So you would have to wait to get an older Jimmy Butler back off of an ACL injury. He'd be 36, 37 when he comes back. Yep. Plus you're looking for you're getting another European guard coming with him, possibly. And you would have to get a bunch of other draft picks from other teams. Same with Miami if they do the same thing. And like you said, he wants to compete right now. I seen a trade package with New York that looked very interesting. New York is probably the closest team that has the most that they can give him. Also possibly Houston. It's very interesting, but this is the thing about Giannis. He's not a top 25 player. He's not a top 30 player you're drafting. We're talking about one of the top 3 players of the NBA right now. It's Jokic, Luka, and Giannis. And you could throw Shai in there. Or Shea, like on any given moment, but maybe people put Shea over Giannis because he just won a ring, but I don't. So I
don't
still
put Shea over nobody.
I actually still have Giannis as literally the best player in the world, if not Jokic. Probably Jokic, Giannis,
and then Jokic first. I'd put Giannis second. I don't even have Luka above you.
Yeah, exactly. I would put Luka like right under Giannis. Either way, however you put the list, I have Giannis above Luka.
Yeah,
and so. And Jokic, depending on how he's playing at the time, he's cemented as 1 or 2. So it's like we're talking about the top 3 players or the top 3 player of not only the world but NBA basketball. There's not enough to give him in return. So, but the only thing I will say before I give it back to Trev is that as Milwaukee, you can't just let him walk away.
No.
So if you don't trade him now in the next 2 days, you're going to risk him walking away for absolutely nothing in the offseason. And then you just wasted all your time. You wasted all your time and you wasted the opportunity to get something back in return. So, and that's the business of it all. You have to make sure that your asset that's about to walk out the door is able to multiply the assets you get in return, even if it doesn't equal to as such. You have to give yourself something. And so if you just let Giannis walk out the door and you leave yourself Kyle Kuzma, dude, you look like an idiot. And there's plenty of teams that have done that. And so it's all about looking at the landscape of the NBA right now and what's happened in the last few years. And I think it's going to come down to them making a very rash or a rational decision in the next few days. I think they're going to trade him to somewhere where they probably shouldn't have traded him. He'll probably be there for a year or two, and then he'll probably leave and actually go where he really wants to.
So let's game this out. I think logically, yeah. I mean, there's not too many places where he could go, but I think the closest thing to any sort of logical decision would either be Miami or Golden State. Golden State has 5 first-round picks that they can give away. Plus, if you want to give Kuminga a change of scenery, get rid of Draymond. I don't think they mind getting rid of Draymond at this point.
Yeah, I think it's time to.
I think it's time that they just go ahead and move on. Jimmy, even though Jimmy's been hurt and he's not the same player that he used to be. I still think he can be valuable, but I think Milwaukee might, and I don't know this for sure, but I think Milwaukee might be looking at the fact that they're getting some young guys and they're getting draft picks. And Golden State also have the money to be able to pay for Giannis' salary. I don't think Miami has that.
Mm-hmm.
Miami, not so much. They might, but I don't really see that. I mean, Miami, who you going to get?
Heroes from Milwaukee.
Could they get rid? Do what?
Heroes from Milwaukee.
That's very interesting.
I mean,
it's very interesting.
Could they keep Bam? I mean, I think they could keep
and
Bam.
Tyler,
you
got to understand, Tyler Hero had one of the best high school mixtapes coming out.
Yeah.
So that boy is beloved over there in Milwaukee. He's beloved.
I don't think you can though to answer your question, Trev.
Yeah. Because I mean, they might be able to keep Bam. I don't think though, because then if you trade Bam, and then it's like, what's the like AJ was saying, what's the point of him going to Miami and then him not having Bam or Tyler Hero? Who else do they have? That makes no sense.
Yeah.
I mean, if he goes to New York, you know good and well Milwaukee's going to want draft picks. Obviously, they're going to want OG, they're going to want Josh Hart, and they're going to want Mikal Bridges.
Yeah,
like off rip. So I mean, I can see that happening. I can see them getting rid of Cat.
They may want Cat.
I was about to say I don't think they care about getting a Cat.
No, they would ask for Cat. Why wouldn't you ask? New York would want to give away Cat. You wouldn't put Cat and Giannis in the same lane.
For Cat though, because you know that New York would be willing to give him away because they're getting Giannis. So you try to take around them.
Yeah, exactly.
And then go back to what you were saying earlier, Angus. If I'm another team, like let's say I'm Golden State, right? Why would I give you 5 first-round picks if I just got to wait you out until the offseason?
That's what teams are doing. That's what Utah did with Lauri Markkanen. They're like, we're not going to give him away for nickels and a bunch of lollipops when we could just wait until the offseason and pick a couple people up and re-sign his contract. He never left.
Yep.
He never left. He's still there dropping 30 a game. So it's
I just don't see him leaving, guys. I just don't see it happen.
Yeah, and I can actually see that as well as him kind of staying.
Yeah.
But we just have to, because the thing about it is, those guys, Luka's a little bit younger, but I will say like Luka, Giannis, and Jokic, they just want to make their money and go back home.
Yeah.
They don't really care about cementing themselves here in certain fan bases. And so like That's why Luka just wanted to. He was about to buy a house in Dallas. He was just like, all right, I'm going to call this home until I don't have to anymore. And so you have Jokic. He's like he has a house there in Denver. He's ready to get out of there. Giannis, you can tell he's cemented in Milwaukee. He loves it. Everything they've done for him and his family and his brothers. He doesn't necessarily want to leave. It's just he also is a hardworking individual that knows the goal. And, his teammates are just not there yet. But I think Milwaukee. One thing that we're not noticing is the Eastern Conference is dangerous right now. There's an influx. Like Philadelphia looks good right now. Joel Embiid is quietly averaging 30 points a game again. No one's talking about that. He's been playing amazing. Boston is still going to be contenders no matter what. And when Jason Tatum comes back, they're going to be good again. Charlotte looks good this year. Toronto looks good this year. Detroit for the second year in a row looks amazing. Orlando is always going to have something to say with their young talent. They can hit. Like it's harder. New York is a juggernaut this year that everyone's looking at to win it all. You just have so much talent now, like so much talent on every single team, West and East, and for their conference, I think they're like, yo, if we get rid of Giannis, we need to have something that's going to help us compete in this conference. We need to have something young, something athletic, and a good scheme, good coaching staff. So it's either
he needs
I think
to
they're
stay in
going to end
the
up trading him.
Eastern Conference.
I think the
I think
best
he
thing
needs
for
to
him is to stay, but I don't think he will. I think it's just both parties are gonna part ways eventually.
It's going to be a lot tougher if he goes to the Western Conference. Because I mean, look who's like right now. It's obviously OKC is leading the Western Conference right now, 40 wins. They got 40-11. Obviously, Denver's in contention every year. Spurs with Wembanyama. Rockets, KD is playing lights out. Obviously, the Lakers, they're still kind of in the mix. We just seen Memphis make a trade for Walter Clayton Jr. I mean, I'm just saying, like, I think if he wants a my thing is with Giannis, this is my only issue with Giannis. He stated before about how he didn't want to, he would never be one of those guys that would demand a trade and he wouldn't want to go anywhere. But now he seems like he's okay with it. And you what now?
I don't think he wants to be the villain.
Yeah.
Well, it's going to come with it, unfortunately.
I also think that he's just here. Go ahead, John. Go ahead.
I was just gonna real quick. I was just gonna say he doesn't look like the villain or bad guy if he waits it out till end of the season and just leaves instead of getting traded, which is another reason why I just don't think it happens.
Yeah, and you know what? You got to think about him as well, and like his upbringing and the type of person he is. He's not a quitter.
No,
he doesn't act to leave.
Nope.
He like that's. I hate to say it as an American, but that's really more an American thing to do. Is when we actually we don't like something, we quit our jobs. They had to keep their jobs. We do. So it's like
he's the old phrase.
Like, no, why would I actually ever leave Milwaukee? I'm gonna stay here, and so like I want to win a championship. And this is the thing about Giannis. Giannis stayed for years and won a championship there.
Yep.
He actually took his team there and won a championship. He knows what it takes. He's willing to do it again. He's not a quitter. So yes, if his contract expires at the end of the season and becomes a free agent, that's more of an honorable thing to do, to look around and see what your options are better for your family, your career, and what it takes to win again and what's going to put you in a position to win. But Giannis is not a quitter, man. And it's unfortunate, but that's literally more of like a Western culture type thing. And
you know what the old phrase is? You know what the old phrase is? You can give somebody a job sitting down, they'll get up and quit. So
that's a good.
That is a good one.
But you know what?
That's like Anthony Davis. You give Anthony Davis the ball while sitting down, and he gets hurt.
Right. See, and this is my thing. I want to know. I want to know what the conversation is going to be if Giannis ends up going to a different team. What's the conversation going to be? Because you know who also waited for his contract to end and didn't demand a trade? LeBron.
Kevin.
Kevin Durant.
Hold on.
Those two guys right there. They waited till their contract was done.
I'm not.
What'd you say, Jonathan?
Compare mega stars or anything like that. but we are talking two of the most outspoken NBA players who have a plethora of each of their own issues. I'm not putting Giannis.
but yeah, and I get that, but that's just my whole argument. Like they were vilified. We know how LeBron was vilified. We know how Kevin Durant was vilified for doing what he did, even though both guys let their contract go out. So I want to know what the conversations are going to be surrounding Giannis, between what the fans say and his outlook on the NBA. Because even though he did get to a championship, and I'm not calling his championship run a fluke, but that team was never the same after Bobby Portis got hurt.
Yeah,
like
correct.
that whole thing after the pandemic, they called a spark, and they won a championship to their credit. But he hasn't even got close since.
Yeah,
because it's hard.
And you know, that's a really good point that you bring out, is because if we're talking about, just to kind of like go over those situations really quickly in comparison, we're talking about the LeBron situation and the decision. A lot of people vilify LeBron for going to Miami, but forget to mention that his owner that year literally said, or it was a new owner. He got a new owner. He bought the team, and he told LeBron, while LeBron was a free agent, Chris Paul, Dwayne Wade, Carmelo Anthony, Chris Bosh was all free agents that year. He told him, I am not spending any money this year. I am not going to go out and get any player this year. After LeBron literally just got his butt whooped in the playoffs after only having no one to help him, and he's the only one scoring. No one's good, and he sees all these guys out here like Chris Bosh, Carmelo Anthony, Dwayne Wade, all free agents, and the owner tells you, I'm not going to spend any money. Yeah, I mean, you're going to have to go find your own team so that you can actually win, and that's what he did. It's just the way he did it that vilified him. Kevin Durant, same thing. Kevin Durant stayed 9 years there. Went to a finals, lost. Went to other championship games, lost. All of a sudden, as a free agent, decides to go somewhere else where he can put himself in a better position to win. He gets vilified by the way he does it or which particular team he goes to. So I think when you see those situations, it doesn't necessarily matter who you are and how you do it, or it doesn't matter who you are or what decision you make. It just depends on how you do it. And so I think Giannis takes that in consideration of like, you know what? I don't want to be looked at as a quitter. I don't want to be looked at as a crybaby and someone that's complaining or turning on the team or turning on the coaching staff and the culture. A culture that has done so much for my family, as well as a culture that I've helped bring a championship. Mind you, him and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar are the only people that have ever won a championship for that. Or not Kareem, I'm sorry, Wilt Chamberlain, rather. Have only two that have won a championship for that organization. So it's big for him, and he does it. And so it depends on the way how he goes about it. Is he going to ask for a trade? Probably not. But will he walk away as a free agent or accept the trade if they trade him? Probably, because at that point, it doesn't make him seem like a crybaby or someone that turned on the franchise or someone that used the trade as like a marketing ploy, how LeBron did for his charity on the decision. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
I think no matter what he does, he's going to be vilified for it.
100%.
Because he has a championship. Like he's a big star. He's one of the most top 5. When we think about the NBA now, we think about Luka, Giannis, LeBron, Steph Curry, Ja, Ant-Man. Those are the players that we think about. And Giannis, he's up in that upper echelon. He's up in that conversation. So I think no matter what he does, he's going to be criticized. I think that, and listen, I have no issue with what Kevin Durant did. I have no issue with what LeBron did. I do think, and let me ask y'all this: do you think ring culture has ruined the NBA?
No, I think it's made the
Ring
NBA more
chasing?
exciting.
yeah,
If you get a
I
super
mean,
team, I'm more inclined to want to watch than if it's just one superstar. And I think
yeah, because you need to have a villain hero type of narrative.
exactly, and I think
Yeah.
you're going to draw in a bigger audience that way to all of the
Yeah.
non-super basketball fans.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because people are watching OKC the same way they're watching the Warriors when they were 73-9. They want to see them lose.
Exactly.
They want to see someone knock them off. And you know who knocked off the Warriors that year and gave them their first loss was Giannis in the Milwaukee Bucks.
Yep.
So it's like it's it's exciting to see people in this ring culture. It really is.
I know we got
I don't think it
one
rings at
last
all.
thing about Giannis. I almost feel like, going back to what Trevor said, no matter what he does, he's going to be the villain. But I almost feel like any superstar nowadays, unless you're just done dirty by your team like Luka, because think about it, nobody thinks bad about Luka, but why? Because he got messed over by Dallas. So you have to be either done dirty or you're the villain if you leave.
Yeah. Or, because I was thinking this as well, does it make you the villain because you won before? Or because you've gotten to the mountaintop and didn't win and couldn't never win with that team? It's because let's think about it. No one vilified Damian Lillard for leaving. In fact, people were like begging him to leave so that he could finally go somewhere else and win. So, and the thing about Giannis, the only reason why I feel like he may not possibly be vilified is because I think like the general consensus of everybody is like, all right, it's time for him to move on, or we would like to see him somewhere else. Whether or not that happens, I think most people now are like, okay, Giannis needs to be in a better situation. And so if that happens, I think depending on the situation he goes to, people will be happy for him. I think the only way they wouldn't be happy is maybe if he goes and teams up with someone like Kevin Durant, LeBron James, or like a Wembyana. But like other than that, I mean, I think most people would be happy to see him with Stephen Curry or someone else.
You can't have your cake and eat it too.
Hey man, I'm a Warriors fan too. I need Giannis with Steph, dog.
You know who's gonna criticize him? The MJ fans.
Yeah.
I think MJ,
the only MJ fans are gonna criticize. They're gonna crucify him.
Was the greatest thing ever.
Yeah,
like,
trust me, those guys weren't all that good. Now, I'm just on to rage bait my older fan.
I'm a big MJ fan, but he was
I think like what Michael Jordan did. Obviously, that would probably never ever be repeated. But I think that what he did, he's ruined how we view basketball, and how we view championships. Nobody is ever going to do that again.
It's his fans, though. It's not even him.
Yeah, that's true.
I think he was so captivating for that time period. He was in the NBA and even at UNC. I think he was just so far ahead of his time, so captivating, so willing to own the moment. And he was such a big star, and that the NBA hadn't seen something like that in a long time, right? Or at all. Exactly. Nobody could fathom it. So now with the new age, it's a little bit of hate. It's a little bit of kind of the same thing, but with more stars now, and they just don't want to admit it.
They talk about him like he's a god.
Michael Jordan was used as a ploy to market the NBA as being a household sport. Like, if we're talking about 60s to 80s, most of their players were still publicly getting in trouble for doing drugs, getting into fights, firearm possessions, all different types of stuff, right? Like, it was, I mean, even Lawrence Taylor in the NFL was talking about how he was doing cocaine all the time. So it's like, that was just how their athletes were. They were on drugs all the time. A lot of those guys were in and out of the league doing part-time jobs and stuff. It was a hard sport. There was a lot of brawls, a lot of fights in those games. And so a lot of body checks, a lot of blood, the way that they would be physical and stuff like that. Mind you, they don't have uniform and pads and helmets on. It's like, it's up close and personal sport where you can see the players, you know? So I think Michael Jordan was, as much of a star as he was very wholesome in a way. And she was like a family boy, a mama's boy. And so as good as he played, he was like a great way to market the NBA. And so with the NBA taking off and being marketed the way it is and how we see it today, Michael Jordan is like the premise and foundation of that, with Jerry West being the logo. So I think when you look at it like that, you're right, John. Like, he's just 20, 30 years ahead or ahead of his time. If he was in today's time, he'd just be considered like another one of the best players today, and that's it. He wouldn't really be considered like the mecca of someone that we like to judge off of. Because even though, yes, he did have three-peats, he didn't win until 91, 92. He came in the league at 84. So he went through 6-7 years of not winning.
He didn't
get tossed up out of the,
or not Rodman.
Yeah, and I mean,
Don't
from 84 to 88. Yeah, and from 84 to 88, he was hurt. He was hurt just like Steph Curry.
Don't tell MJ fans that.
Such a god. How couldn't he win before Pippen?
Thank you.
Exactly.
Thank you.
He had to go get Pimpin.
Yeah, and he had to go
so he could feel like he's big Pimpin.
Just to
like the way the NBA is now, it's like going to the days where you have just one superstar who carries an entire team like he did.
Yeah.
Like that era is gone.
Mm-hmm.
Like if Michael Jordan played now, he would be looked at as like you said, he would be looked at as a regular. I'm not saying he wouldn't be great.
Yeah.
But he would not be looked at as like people in the 90s that view him as just some sort of just basketball god and whatever. He's had
bigger Kyrie with better defense.
Yeah.
He'd be a bigger Kyrie.
Yeah.
And you know what's interesting? Yeah. I totally agree with that. And I just think that you know it's funny, like the things that we see when we're at our youngest age is the things that we view as the greatest.
Yeah.
So like the people that tell us, you know, like to us, like our age group, we're all the same age here. We're all like 27, 28. We're all the same age group. And to us, Peyton Manning, Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, Ben Roethlisberger, Phillip Rivers were like the best thing since sliced bread when we were growing up, right? Like those were the quarterbacks that we revered as like the greatest in the league. But I mean, when we look at our quarterbacks today and we talk about them to the younger generation, they look at their quarterbacks as like the best thing. So it's just we do that with artists, we do that with actors and actresses, we do that with all different types of things. So it's like whatever we saw at the peak of our life is what we view as the greatest. And so I just think that those people are stuck in their like younger years where they were watching Michael Jordan in awe. And so he's just, we've had a Michael Jordan every single era. We had a Kobe Bryant, we have an Anthony Edwards this era. So we get one every era. We had a Paul George, a Kevin Durant. We have a shot. Like we get one of these guys every era. Is someone ever been as good as Michael Jordan? No, out of those guys. But I mean,
yeah.
The only thing I would say, and to your point, the whole era of one person holding a team down and leading, that wasn't even in Michael Jordan's time. That been passed. That like the last time that happened was like in the 70s.
That was like Kareem.
Exactly. That was Kareem and that was it. I mean, and just
Bill Russell, he has 11 rings.
Bill Russell, Kareem, like, you know, like that Ben was over by the time Michael Jordan entered into the league. By the time Michael Jordan was in the league, I mean, you had Detroit, you had Portland Trailblazers, you had LA, Boston. Those
Orlando.
were all juggernauts of teams. Orlando, those were all juggernaut of teams, you know, that had multiple players on their teams. That the reason why they were good. San Antonio.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think, you know what? There's one more thing about Giannis. I think he's kind of like Kyrie now, where Kyrie wanted his own team so bad when he first left Cleveland. And then now I think Kyrie's kind of looking around like, dang. He's looking at LeBron like, dang, this harder than it looked.
Oh, yeah.
Now, granted, listen, when he first went to Boston, JT and JB weren't the same players that they are now. And I understand that. But the point still stands that, like, yeah, this ain't easy. And LeBron has done it. He's had to do it sometimes by himself. So, Giannis, I hope you realize, bro, this stuff is not easy. This don't come by easy.
Yeah, Giannis it's clear that Giannis needs help. I think that's why we respect Steph Curry for that 22 season, is because he took a young team with an older Clay and an older Draymond to the finals and beat Boston, which had the best defense that year, and a very healthy Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, Derek White, Peyton Pritchard, Marcus Smart, all those boys. So it's very rare to see one of our superstars lead a whole team from start to finish all the way to the finals and actually win. It just doesn't happen as much anymore. You need a full team. Jokic needs Jamal Murray and Porter. Kevin Durant needed Steph and Clay. LeBron, mind you, in those 4 years that he went back to back to the finals, he only won the year that Kevin Love and Kyrie Irving were healthy. Every other year, he had to take them to 7 games for that. They were down 3-1. Yep. And it needed Draymond to be suspended for that to happen. So it's like, those days are just gone. They're just gone where it's just one person leading a team. It just doesn't happen. It's a team sport for a reason.
Yeah. We're going to head back to football, guys. I know the topics of discussion here. I posed this question last week with Alvin when I had him on the pod as a guest host. I wanted to hear y'all's thoughts a little bit about quarterbacks and the pressure that they have. I think I kind of know what y'all's answer is going to be because I know what my answer was. So the question is, which QB has the most pressure on him right now to win a championship?
I'll let John go first.
It's got
Unless you want to go first, you do the football first.
It's got to be Josh Allen. And I don't think it's particularly close. He's kind of at that point in his career where it's an intersection of talent, time, and expectations, guys. The Bills have paid him like a generational quarterback. They've built multiple rosters around this guy. I mean, what? He's on his third head coach now? I mean, you're watching him overlap Super Bowl windows with Mahomes, Burrow, Lamar. How much time are you going to give a guy? And at some point, the narrative shifts from elite talent to what are we missing? You know, I get it. Allen has MVP traits, and he has postseason moments and statistics. He dominates the statistics. I get it. But at this level, when you're getting paid that much money, ultimately, you're judged by what you do in January, not in September.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, guys, if Allen never wins a Super Bowl, here's my hot take. He risks being remembered alongside guys like Phillip Rivers. Great, respected, feared, but never crowned.
Yeah.
That's a good take. I ain't gonna lie.
No, it's a great and amazing take, John, and that's exactly who he is to me. I think of people like Phillip Rivers, who else? Dan Marino, like all those guys that played around eras of good quarterbacks that just never cracked the markets because of all the other guys. And so this is the thing. You didn't have Joe Burrow to go against. You didn't have Patrick Mahomes. You didn't have Lamar Jackson to go against.
No excuse.
You didn't even have to. You didn't have to cross paths with Justin Herbert this year. Like
all you had to do was get past Bo Nix and Trevor Lawrence.
That was it.
That's all you had to do.
That was it. And this is the thing. I think everyone, when Chiefs were starting to play the way they were playing, when Lamar Jackson got hurt, when Joe Burrow went down, everybody was like, "All right, Josh, this is your year. I mean, this is the year to see if you actually are going to do it or not." And the way for it to happen the way it did is just like, it was very, very disappointing. It definitely makes you think of the Chip Kelly years, or just kind of before our time. But at least, I think we all remember Chip Kelly. Boy, I love losing Super Bowl 4 years in a row, not winning a Super Bowl for the Bills. Like, boy, like, and so that's what it stands for, right? Boy, I love losing Super Bowls. So it's just that's what it reminds me of. It's just like, when are you ever going to actually get there?
You have to.
That's a good one. I never heard of that before.
Matt Milano plays on that team, and I'm not gonna let you trash the Bills. I'm just talking.
You're right.
Allen.
You're right. I love Matt Milano. Hey, shout out to Matty. Shout out to DP and the Panthers. Shout out to Coach Rodney Wells.
Hey, I don't know if you guys just heard. Speaking of Rodney Wells, just retired from being the head coach, Dr. Phillips, yesterday.
Really?
24.
Congratulations to Rod.
Well,
hey, man. Congrats to Rod. Great guy too. Not just a good coach, but good guy. I see him in public sometimes. He always dabs me up, gives me a hug, man. So.
I've played for the man. I've coached with him. I mean, just an amazing leader, student of the game. Just I couldn't be more appreciative and honored to be able to say I was coached by him and got to coach with him. He definitely deserves a great retirement. Deserves all the love, and just really happy for him.
Yeah, man. Shout out to Rodney Wells, Coach Rodney Wells, man.
Sure.
Awesome. But yeah, to get back to the Bills, man. I mean, they have I know we're gonna talk a little bit more about their head coach situation in a second, but Josh Allen, bro, you have to get over the mountaintop eventually. And I think you're right, John. I think we're gonna look back at it in a couple years and be like, he's the Phillip Rivers of our era, the guy that was just had some really good targets, had a couple good teams. Like, they gave him Stephon Diggs, and now Stephon Diggs is going to be one of the leading targets in the Super Bowl.
Yep.
Yeah, so and he played great this year.
Think about how old he is compared to when he was on the Bills.
Yes, exactly. And he's played great this year. He actually looks like I know he has his outside the football activities going on, but when it comes to being in those white lines, that man is a fierce competitor, and he looked good this year. So he made Drake May look really, really good this year. So
yeah,
it's Joe. You had everything, Josh. I don't know, man. I think Joe is another person that's like that as well. It's like we already seen you make it. Like, what are you gonna go back? Like at least Brock Purdy went back a couple times.
Yeah.
Joe Burrow needs help. I gotta give Joe Burrow I gotta give him a pass on a few. Bro, that man Joe Burrow been running for his life ever since he got drafted. Like, bro, ever since he came in the league, bro, his first year he was out because was getting destroyed. Remember that one game he got sacked like 9 times and still won. I gotta give Joe Burrow a pass on that.
Right, but when Joe was coming out of the draft, he had every opportunity to say, "I don't want to go to Cincinnati." The same problems Cincinnati has right now.
Hey, it's his hometown team.
I don't care that your hometown team can still get you killed.
Yeah,
and
they can still put a hit out on
season.
Yeah,
and that man he about to look like he gonna have Dion's legs in a little bit.
He's about to be walking like Shannon in a minute.
Yeah, for real, looking like Shannon Sharp getting out of a car.
Oh man.
Oh, hey, I hope to see Joe Burrow and the Bengals look a lot better next year. It'd be nice to see.
Yeah,
real nice to see. I like our quarterback play in the NFL these days. I like Dan Orlovsky's take how we don't just have 5 elite quarterbacks anymore. That list is like 10, 12 deep now. I think our generation in almost every sport has made competition a lot more fierce. It's because when we grew up, there was like 5 or 6 teams on each conference that were really good. Everyone else was like either mediocre or trash. Now it's like every team. It don't matter if you're playing a sorry team. I thought, and I kept saying this to my dad, I thought that the Jets and the Panthers were the sweatiest team to play last year. They were sorry for a long time. I mean, the Panthers finally turned around midway in the season and made a playoff appearance, which actually brought validity to my point. But the Jets never really did so, but I thought they were somewhat decently coached. But they were just very sweaty teams to play, where like just because they're sorry doesn't mean that they play how their record is.
Yeah.
And there was a couple other teams like that last year as well, but the Browns defense, even though they sucked, the Browns defense was absolutely ridiculous. Myles Garrett was absolutely ridiculous. So it's like,
yeah,
I'm not our talent.
I think he quit
in the league is just
they sucked.
You don't think what?
I don't think the Browns sucked as bad as what we saw. I think Stefanski quit.
No. I agree with that point as well. I do think the Browns at times showed that they could have competed, but Stefanski was either I don't want to go as far as saying sabotage. I know I have before in the episode, but I don't want to go as far as saying that. But it definitely looked like that. So
do y'all think that maybe Stefanski wanted Shedeur, but the owners didn't and the general manager didn't, or do you think nobody wanted Shedeur?
I think above all, Stefanski was the one who did not want Shedeur.
Yeah, I don't think Stefanski wanted
especially.
Shedeur. And
I think my opinion solidified with me when I heard the story about his grandfather and Shedeur's father. I don't know if you guys are aware of that.
I heard that story too.
You heard that?
I heard that. That'd be petty.
Kevin Stefanski's grandfather, I forget his name, was one of the MLB. I do forget his title. I'm sorry, I wasn't prepared to share this story. I just came to mind. But anyway, he worked in the MLB. I believe in the news, in some type of news broadcasting department. And something had been said about Dion, and Dion got upset about this. So after one of their games, he dumped ice bucket water on him when he's in a full suit and everything. And they start going back and forth, and it was ugly to say the least. And I think since that moment, Kevin Stefanski watching his grandfather just be humiliated on national TV. Obviously, he's going to rub you the wrong way. Your grandfather is your idol growing up. You look up to your dad, you look up to your grandfather, and to watch him treated and humiliated in that way is going to stick with you, no matter who you are.
Yeah.
And now you've got that guy's son coming through on your team. You're not going to give him a snowball's chance.
Yeah, you're going to turn around and be like, you know what, you're going to humiliate my grandfather, I'm going to humiliate your son every week on television. To the point where he's going to be talked about being humiliated more than the number 1 overall pick is going to be talked about playing. So, because, I mean, good for Cam Ward. He got to be, he got to chill last year as a number 1 pick. I don't think I ever heard about him last year.
I ain't hear about him no time. I'm like, I forgot Cam Ward was playing. I'm like,
yeah, for real, exactly. But you know, it's funny because that game, Cam Ward, the Tennessee versus Browns game, Cam Ward's gonna be a force to be reckoned with one day too, man. He's gonna be nice. We'll see what happens. I wasn't completely big on him coming out of the draft as I was with Caleb Williams, but I mean, Caleb Williams proved me wrong this year. Let's see what happens with Cam Ward. But I think Kevin Stefanski definitely quit on Shedeur. I didn't know about that story whatsoever, but I mean, if I did know about it before, I would definitely say that has something to do with it. But also, it's just, you know, when you had you know, because you're having technical difficulties, me and John was talking about this earlier about the whole CJ Stroud and Bryce Young situation, how situations really matter and how the Panthers did not hire coaching or draft picks around Bryce Young at all. They did it for CJ Stroud. It wasn't until the owner's wife really enjoyed the dinner with Bryce Young where she was like, I want Bryce Young. And so Bryce Young took a couple years to settle into a situation where it wasn't really meant for him. Whereas, you know, Shedeur Sanders, he comes into a situation that's not necessarily meant for him. And you have a coach that's purposely trying to make it hard for him. Whether or not he says he wasn't or not, like I've never, other coaches, when they're saying on live television, they're saying they've never seen a coach take out their quarterback that just threw a touchdown and got them in the red zone and want to go for the 2-point conversion and go for Wildcat. Like, just why would you do that? In fact, you know what? We have a coach right here on the show. Coach, can you tell us what the hell you were thinking? Coach, can you tell us what you were thinking when you saw that not only once but multiple times in the season? I would love to hear what you got to think.
And a Wildcat of all plays.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Wow.
He said,
I can't even put myself in his shoes watching my quarterback throw 3 touchdowns in his first multiple touchdown game. And then he's thrown for 3 plus in that same game. Your guy's got the hot hand. I mean, you don't need to be an NFL coach. You don't need to be a high school football coach to understand. You keep the guy in the game.
Yeah.
I think Shedeur handled it really well and really maturely. Media was obviously trying to get him to slip up. They were trying to get him to say, man, that was a horrible call. And I think from the media side, for the most part this season, he handled it really well.
Mm-hmm. He got Dylan Gabriel's girlfriend going on TikTok talking about.
I don't want to hear about Dylan Gabriel's name ever again. All right. Everyone gassed this kid up from Oregon, or originally from UCF, if we all can remember.
Oh yeah, I remember.
Dude, he can't play.
There's a reason why we sent him to Portland. There's a reason why we sent his behind to Portland.
Would you rather have Mac Jones or would you rather have Dylan Gabriel?
Mac Jones.
Mac Jones
is kind of nice.
Okay.
I like Mac Jones.
Well, guess what?
Bro, Mac Jones is the reason.
At one point, Dylan Gabriel was a starter this year without any injuries in the mix. Only reason Mac Jones got on the field this year was because of an injury.
Mac Jones was the reason Brian Thomas Jr. got 1,000 yards when Trevor Lawrence got hurt.
Yep.
Trust the thing about what Dylan Gabriel is like, he was essentially just used as a ploy to annoy Shedeur and the Sanders family.
I agree.
Like, it's just it's just like, what was he even doing there?
That has to be.
And you know what's funny? Maybe it's just me, but I actually felt bad for Dylan Gabriel because I was looking at him as he's on the bench, and I'm like, oh, poor kid. You don't even realize why you're there. You're not there to play football.
No.
You're not there to play football. You're there for the media ploy. You're there to draw attention.
I watched this film, guys, and I didn't have him above a 7th rounder. I really did. Like, I didn't love it. I didn't love the tape. You know, there was bright spots. He wasn't horrible, But I just didn't think with his size and his attributes, it would translate to the next level very well. And I was right. Now, it's
Yeah.
1 year. It's a handful of games. I get it. There's plenty more football to be played, but I think you got to look when you get to this level. What you put on tape is who you are.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone can say, well, he needs more time. Is he going to get the opportunity with what he's put on tape? And I don't think he
My
will.
thing is this
Yeah.
too. Look at what
That's a
Shador
very
did in
good point.
college. Look at what Shador did in college with between JSU and Colorado. I looked this up real quick while you were talking. Between this is combined stats. Total passing yards 14,353. Total passing touchdowns 134 to only 27 interceptions. He averaged a career completion percentage of 70.1%. 4 rushing touchdowns, multiple rushing touchdowns, including 4 2 years ago. So in Colorado, he set the school record for 4,134 passing yards, 37 touchdowns, and a 74% completion percentage. The 2023 season, he threw for 3,230 yards and 27 touchdowns, and that was his first year in Colorado. Now that's just in Colorado. That's not even talking about Jackson State. So my point in saying all this is when he was coming out of college and the media and kept talking about, and they did this with CJ Stroud with the whole IQ test thing about how the meetings went and all this other stuff. And then you got people on Twitter talking about, he didn't put enough tape at Colorado for him to go past, for him to be like a first round pick. I'm like, what are you talking about? Now y'all just talking. Yeah, y'all just saying stuff for it. Just yapping. Like, what are you talking about? Did you not see what he did at Colorado? They say, oh, well, he was in the... I'm like, bro, come on, stop. Just stop it. There was no reason why you had multiple teams. New Orleans needed a quarterback. Arizona, I still feel like needs a quarterback. I think they're going to move on from Kyler Murray.
Yeah.
There's multiple teams. The Raiders, I'm surprised Las Vegas didn't go after him.
What?
So
him and Ashton Gentry would have been great. Him and Ashton Gentry together would have been great. I don't like Chip Kelly though. I don't like Chip Kelly being his coach though. So that's
nobody does.
That's why he's
does.
unemployed right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, nobody likes Chip Kelly. But yeah, it's just like I don't understand. Like people say, oh, he didn't put on enough tape at Colorado. Like, what do you mean?
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
I just think that it's really, really tough to judge the Sanders family, being how outspoken they are. And so to go back to like the little, like once you said that Kevin Stefanski's grandfather was a reporter, I already knew where the conversation was going. It's because Dion is notorious for calling out reporters. He's notorious for reading everything you write and calling you out for it. He's also notorious, let's also give him his flowers, because he will give you your flowers, is because he reads everything you write. So he's not all bad. But with that being said, if you are going to be negative against him and his family and go out of your way to say things that are not anything to do with football, he's going to make a mockery of you. So I'm not sure if that has anything to do with it, but it was very clear based off of the tape that we saw from both sides coming out of college and going into the league, who should have at least gotten, maybe not have started, but who should have gotten those first team reps in practice.
Yeah.
It was clear, like, when Shador said after his first game, it's, you could see what I could do with just 1 week of practice. Imagine a whole offseason, a whole season. It was clear. And so I think all of us, including I don't think anyone has to be a Browns fan. I think everyone's very, very excited to see how Shador looks after one offseason behind a coaching staff that actually is going to be scheming and drafting for him.
We'll see.
It's going to be very interesting. And so you see that coach wanted him in Baltimore. He didn't want to go to Baltimore because he didn't want to sit behind Lamar, but that coach wanted him. So that's great already. It's because that coach is going to be, he already knows exactly. When he wanted Shador last year, that means it's because he already has an idea of how he wanted to use him. He already sees the vision. He already sees what he's going to be doing with him and the game plan. So that means it's already fresh in his mind. That was only just last year. So it's not something he has to completely rewrite. it's something he would just have to revise and and go through and really go over with him, meeting with him weekly and doing film. I love the way Belichick and Tom Brady met with each other, and being that that's his mentor, I'm sure that he has that understanding that meeting with your coach, your quarterback coach, it's going to be very, very important and game planning every single week. So I'm excited to see what Shador does next year. And he has a great defense. Yeah, that team's going to be actually pretty good.
Yeah, I think so.
We'll see.
Any final
Who's their
thoughts,
division?
Jonathan?
Who's their division? Cincinnati,
Yeah,
Pittsburgh.
Cincinnati, Pittsburgh, and Baltimore.
And that's the thing that they have the defense to compete in that division, and that division is very up in arms. I think Cincinnati is going to come out trying to offensively next year, but we'll see what they do. I think Pittsburgh is not going to be that good. I think Mark McCarthy is going to be a 2-year coach, and he's out of there. I think that would be the first fire that Pittsburgh Steelers ever make because they don't fire head coaches. Those coaches retire or they leave. So I think that's going to be the first fire, and it's going to be a huge story about Pittsburgh Steelers firing a coach. But and then with Baltimore, they're getting a new coaching staff. Lamar Jackson is kind of like at that point right now where, like John talked about earlier, you're at a point of expectation right now. Like we're expecting something out of you now, and so I think we can even see Lamar Jackson being in his last few seasons in Baltimore. So I don't know. I think this is Shador. This may be Shador's time. Shador's time with the fresh defense right now. So get him some fresh targets and a fresh new scheme on offense and let him. Shador loves to let that thing fly, man. So it'd be nice.
And also,
I know we
another
gotta
thing
move
too, I
on.
forgot about.
One last thing just about the Browns.
No, you good?
One last thing. I like Todd Monken coming over from Baltimore, but I think the way and we can come back to it if you guys want, but I think the way they went about hiring their coach was all wrong. Here's why. I think you could have hired Jim Schwartz as your head coach, kept your defensive coordinator, keep the best player on your team happy, bringing back the best part of your team from last season, your defense, keeping it all same, all familiar, and Baltimore was getting rid of Todd Monken anyway. They brought in a new coach.
Yeah.
You could have gotten Todd Monken as an OC. It's not like people were banging on Todd Monken's door to be a head coach. That's where I just think they fell short, but I don't know.
Yeah, and I agree with that. And I think the whole point of them doing that was we want Shador. We know we want Shador, and we need someone that wants him. And the only person that showed that they wanted him last year in the draft was Todd Monken at the Baltimore Ravens. That was really the only team that kind of was open and vocal and had some possibility of Shador going there. And it was because of how open they were about wanting Shador. And so I think that was more the whole point about it. It was like, let's just go get someone that we know that wants Shador, that will build around Shador. But you're right. I think, Jim Harbaugh. Go ahead.
You believe the Browns are sold?
Say that again? Say that one more time. I'm sorry.
So you believe the Browns are sold on Shador?
I think that they are sold on him being. If you want me to be completely honest, I think they're sold on Deshaun Watson. I think that they're trying to give him all the time as possible to get completely healthy, and I think being that Shador is the only option to keep them being a successful and winning team in the meantime, to hand back over to Deshaun Watson a healthy and successful team, not a broken team that's still losing. I think that they'll go with Shador, and they want someone that's going to help Shador's scheme. You don't want a coach like Stefanski that's like, okay, yeah, we'll just keep Shador on the bench if we're never going to go back to him, or if we're going to go back to someone else anyway. So I just think that they're like, you know what, Shador's our best option right now to keep our team flowing with the defense that we have, the players that we have. I think we can win right now if we just plan for Shador, and then when we get Deshaun Watson back, I think we'll be fine. Deshaun Watson, he's our age. Deshaun Watson's 28, 29 years old right now?
Yeah.
So.
But do you think that they need to kind of let it go, though, with Deshaun? Because we've seen him not be hurt, and we've seen how he looked.
I'm over Deshaun.
You think they need to
he's going to be rusty?
I'm over Deshaun.
I mean, me too, but I mean, he's going to be rusty. Dude, I mean, give him a couple massages. He'll be all right.
Hey, Phillip Rivers came off his couch and was throwing a touchdown, so.
Well, you're
right.
right. We saw Deshaun not hurt, not throwing touchdown.
That's what I'm saying.
Hey.
That's what I'm saying. That's my point.
Hey, Joe Flacco finished a whole little seasons by himself and then threw like 5 touchdowns the next day. So I don't know what to expect.
Bro, Joe Flacco was over there like playing catch with his son.
Yeah.
Playing Madden and stuff like that. He called the next day and played like, bro, this man literally, he didn't even know the wide receivers' names.
Yeah.
He was like, man, who are you again? My bad.
Oh, geez.
Those guys were like kids when he was quarterbacking. But
Right.
yeah, I mean,
that's what I'm saying.
I gave up on Deshaun Watson too. I think they have no choice because of all the money they gave him. They don't have a choice but to play him.
That's the risk you run when you give somebody. That was an unprecedented contract.
Yeah.
But and that's
the thing about the
run.
Browns, their history, they have a history of not being able to develop or draft or pick the right quarterback. They don't make the right decision in that regard. They just never have. There's history, like there's certain teams that have a history of doing something, and that history is essentially the culture of that team, and it determines their success and how successful they are on a consistent basis. Like the Patriots, they have a very successful culture. That's why it doesn't matter what coach is on their team and what roster is on their team, they're back at the big dance. There's certain cultures of certain teams that just stay there. Like the Steelers, they're a culture. We don't fire coaches. We let you retire here, no matter if you're having a bad season or not. Mike Tomlin and his family walked away. It's time for the next coach to come on. So like, there's just certain cultures, like Packers, they let their fan base do ownership. So when you look at the culture of some of these teams, man, the Browns are just religious for not being able to develop a quarterback. They're religious for not being able to draft the right quarterback. So they need to figure out how to turn it around eventually. I don't know if Shador is going to be that answer.
Do you think it's
I think if I was Shador, I'd say that again.
Do you think it's almost poetic? Like going back to your statement, they're not good at drafting. They're not good at developing. They can't pick the right quarterback. And it's almost like the quarterback that no one, including them, wanted, and they still took him in the 5th round, could actually be the guy that saves them.
I was gonna, it's funny. I was gonna ask you that. I was gonna ask y'all that question. Can you imagine if next year that the Browns make a playoff run? Bro, they're gonna build a Shador statue right out there in Cleveland.
Okay, pump the brake.
Yeah,
like one of the people who believe not just anybody should get a statue.
Yeah. Oh,
Shador, man, I'm telling you right now, if he wins any more games than Baker Mayfield, they may just put him butt to butt on a statue in front of this.
I mean, I'm just saying, bro. How many quarterbacks and how many years they've had? Just as many quarterbacks almost as we've had presidents in this country. Let that sink in. Like the amount of quarterbacks that they've had since the 90s, since we were born. Like, that's how many quarterbacks have they had. Can you imagine if Shador is the answer in the future?
That would be insane.
To go back to John's point, I actually think that could be very, that could happen with them. Shador end up being their quarterback, being that they didn't want Shador and they picked him anyway because nobody else wanted him. And then they didn't even want to play him. And then they finally play him. He ends up being the thing that helps them win. That would just bring validity to my point that they don't know what they're doing with quarterbacks. They don't know what they're doing. They don't know what they're doing.
But see, the thing is, though, a lot of teams. Yeah. The thing is, though, it's not just the Browns' problem, though. I feel like it's like an NFL scout problem. Because because think of this, the thing, knowing what we know now, we know good and well that the Patriots would not have took Tom Brady in the 7th round if we knew what he was going to turn out to be.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think the scouting is almost like our analytics guys. They don't take in certain accounts of like reality. Like they only take in certain accounts of like numbers per situation. Like if an analytics guy was judging Jonathan as a linebacker, like, oh, how would he make a tackle from this angle or from this situation or from this scheme or from this hash to this hash, like all different types of little things, but they're not actually accounting for if the lineman missed his freaking block. You know what I mean? Like real stuff, like real situation in the middle of a play that actually contributes to the way the actual play went. Like, is someone missing their assignment? Does someone hold? Does someone go half on an assignment, or does someone give their all? Was someone hurt during the assignment? Like, there's so many like real things within the circumstances to judge that these analytic guys are not actually judging. So I think
You
it's the
could
same way with the scouts. The scouts, they look at certain situations and they don't take account for real life situations, or maybe they're not as good as watching the film, or maybe they never were players in the first place. Maybe they're more like numbers guys, and I don't know. Maybe Jonathan would probably be able to account for that because he knows more scouting and probably knows more scouts than anybody. But
yeah.
I don't get why these guys don't take an account of real life situations more than often.
It's hard. I mean, you got to understand that there's no jump like there is from college to the NFL. And not only does it get
Yeah.
physical, it's more mental. I mean,
Mhm.
only from Rutgers to Youngstown State, nobody would ever believe me when I said this, but Youngstown State's playbook was way harder to understand than Rutgers was. Rutgers couldn't have been more simple.
Mhm.
I felt like I knew it pretty quickly, but it took me years to get down Bo Pelini's playbook because he brought it straight from the Patriots before he was here. Youngstown State,
Mm.
when he was at Nebraska, that's the defense Nebraska was running when they had one of the top defenses in college football all those years. So
Yeah.
going back to the original debate, I don't think it's a lack of watching film. I don't think it's a lack of not understanding the game. I think it really is that hard, and there's a plethora of factors. Money changes people. I mean, that's no secret. Once you do get that bag, I mean, we all notice it with NFL guys just in the league. Not to mention just rookies, guys who've been in the league. They change after they get that money. I mean,
Yeah.
Mhm.
look at Jalen Hurts. I love my Eagles, but I mean, you can't tell me there's not a difference in play between before and after he got paid. And
Oh, for
I
sure.
could go off on a whole list. It's not just him, but you guys get my point.
Yeah.
His eyebrows
I get the
are
point.
a lot thicker after the money. I don't know. That's just me, but go ahead, John.
It's really hard, guys. Going back to that point,
Mhm.
and part of it is a guessing game. I mean, I
Uh-huh.
know some really good scouts who do their due diligence, and you could go through all the film, do everything right, talk to the player. He's a great guy, and it still just doesn't work out sometimes. He could have a clean bill of health, and he tears his ACL 2, 3 times, and guess what? He's out of the league. And that's not the
Yeah.
scout's fault. Half the time, it's not the player's fault.
Yeah.
It's just
That's
how it
true.
rolls sometimes. You know what I mean? I mean, Andrew Luck.
What like
Yeah, it's just
You're gonna say
Andrew Luck
the
was
scout
off.
missed on
Goodness.
Andrew Luck because he called it a quits after what was it, a couple years? No,
No,
that's
not at
not the
all.
scout's fault, and that's
Yeah,
not
Yeah.
Andrew
that's
Luck's
true.
fault. It's honestly the GM's
Yeah,
fault
that's
for
true.
not putting a better O-line to protect the guy. But I'm not going down that rabbit hole.
Yeah.
I know we have plenty of more questions to go through.
No, but it's interesting you said that because I think I asked this before, and I had this on one of the topics or like a few weeks ago. Why does it seem like, and I look at it's like since what Cincinnati's got going on with their team, why do these organizations not want to help their star players? Like, what is it? Like, I don't understand that.
I don't think most of the time, in the majority sense, they don't want to help the player. But you guys have to remember when we're talking about a game like football, it's a salary cap league. And to put it as basic as I can, you got to rob Peter to pay Paul. So if you want to go out and sign the 50 million, et cetera, a year left tackle to help out Joe Burrow or whoever you want to talk about, that money's coming from somewhere. So you're going to either get less productivity or you're going to have to go into the draft and get a younger guy who maybe it is going to take a couple years. So that position, again, isn't going to be as productive as maybe it once was when you were paying a little more for that position. So I don't
Yeah.
necessarily think, as I said, in a majority sense, it's not wanting to help the player, but I think it's having to be smart and not look as a knee-jerk reaction type deal. These guys are looking 3, 4 years down the road. How's our money going to turn out? and they have entire departments to make sure that they don't come to 2026 this season and we're X amount of dollars over the cap, and we can't even get, name a position.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
don't get me wrong, there are
wide receiver.
Like
front offices. I mean, top to bottom bad, and I do believe that the Bengals are one of them. And it's very embarrassing how they handled their rookie signing this past year. I mean, the kid went back to college, so it's a mix. It's a mixed bag, and you guys got to.
Did he end up going back to college?
Yeah, he went back.
Did the guy end up
he ended up going back for real?
Yeah, he was back.
Because if they don't sign their rookie contract, they can go back.
Right? That's where he went to college, Texas A&M.
Yeah.
Back there doing workouts, but wasn't signed up officially for school. I want to say for like a couple days, maybe a week tops. And then they got the contract.
That's insane, man.
No, it's embarrassing. You're a professional football organization and you can't get a
because I thought about it too, where I was just like, imagine a regular employer hiring me with a bunch of other people. Everyone gets to sign that contract, but then they tell me, they're like, hey, we're going to try something new with your contract. If you're late or if you're ever tardy to any of your shifts, we're going to forfeit pay for a week.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, so why y'all starting with me, but not with everybody else?
Why I got to be the lab rat?
Why
you got to start with me?
Yep.
Because you know what? You know why I'm glad he stood 10 toes down on that is because if he would have said yes, he was setting precedent for them, and not only everyone else in the league to treat every other person like that going forward.
Yep.
So he was like, I'm not about to let you guys let me be the guinea pig. Also, I'm going to be the person that everyone looks at as like, dang, bro, you should have stood 10 toes down. Now I'm getting screwed over because you folded and stuff. So that was awful. And you're right. That was so embarrassing, bro.
Why does it seem like there's something with Bengals?
Not everybody's trying to win.
No. Like the Rams don't have that problem. The Rams, they had to like completely retool their team from a few years ago. And look now, they were almost back in the Super Bowl.
Not everybody's trying to win.
They were that close.
Front offices. You know how I think about it too? We think about it as a sports team, right? The kid in us just think about football. But you got to understand it's a business. It's no different than walking into a Dunkin' Donuts or McDonald's or some Goldman Sachs bank or Chase. That front office is a group of VPs, corporate managers, senior executives, and their staff, and they are trying to run an organization to be a very profitable company. And from the office down to the players, they're all working on becoming a successful company. And you know what I try to equate it to? Sometimes you walk into an establishment and the manager doesn't know what they're doing. The staff members don't know what they're doing. You ask to talk to another manager. The guy comes out, his shirt is untucked, his buttons everywhere. I mean, he got a stain on his tie. His beard isn't trimmed. And he doesn't know what he's doing. And his shoes untied. And he doesn't know how to talk to you correctly. And you could tell the stress of today is getting to him. And he won't even be able to make it till tomorrow. And so that's how I think about it with these teams. Sometimes you're looking at a well-run organization, a well-run team, a well-run business in comparison in the same industry to another company that's like, you go to Burger King and McDonald's, they're the same type of business in the same industry, but they're run completely differently.
Yeah.
So that's just how it is. And I mean, you can see it. I mean, Miami this year was kind of a mess for the last few years, really. You go to a lot of other organizations, and there's some organizations that lose. All they do is lose. But they're such a well-run organization. It's like, you kind of like, all right, well, maybe they'll turn around one year. It's like, maybe they're just having a bad year or something like that. Maybe their players are just hurt.
Prime example. Look at Jacksonville.
Yeah.
Look at what Jacksonville did. You bring in Tony Baselli as the president of player operations. You fired Trent Baalke. Thank God. Get him out of there. You bring in somebody in Gladstone who was in the front office when the Rams went to the Super Bowl a couple of years ago. And you take a chance on a defensive coordinator in Campanelli, a first year offensive coordinator, but it's getting the front office. It's getting the right is what starts, because it starts at the top.
Starts at the top.
Shad Khan finally got it right. He's been through a couple of GMs and coaches and stuff. He finally got it right. It starts at the top.
One of my coaches.
You go out there and you make yeah, It's true. You make a splash. Yeah.
Go ahead, Trevor. I don't mean to keep it.
You make a splash and you go after Travis Hunter. You trade the Browns for Travis Hunter, and you get that. And then you set Liam Cohen up with Trevor Lawrence, and he's unlocked a completely. This is the Trevor Lawrence that, as a Jaguar fan, this is the Trevor Lawrence that we were waiting on when he first got drafted. This is freshman year national championship versus Alabama Trevor Lawrence that we've been wanting to see. We've seen
Liam
flashes
Cohen did
over
that
the
with
course.
Baker Mayfield. He did it with Baker Mayfield with the Bucs.
Yeah. So front office does matter.
Yeah.
Putting the right pieces does matter. It's not just one. It goes back to what we were saying earlier. You can't just rely on one person. It's a team. And that includes front office, facilities, equipment managers. Everybody has to be in sync. That's how it's run. That's, from the top to the bottom, that's how organizations are run.
Yep. And I totally agree with that, is because, do you guys, have you guys ever been in a job before and everyone hates the manager and everyone's stressed out? Everyone hates going to work sometimes, or maybe you're stressed and you just know what you're going to expect. And all of a sudden that manager either quits or gets fired and he gets replaced. You give the new guy or the new lady a couple weeks, and all of a sudden she answers all your questions. She's respectful. Everyone's smiling. She helped you too? Yeah, she helped me too. Everybody's cool. Everyone's vibe. Everyone enjoys going to work. And a couple months later, you don't even think about it anymore. It's just a constant flow. That's how I think about it when you get a brand new coach on your team. You finally get someone that actually listens to the players, connects well, brings the locker room together, schemes well, and actually knows exactly what they're doing. It has a scheme that actually works, is because you can have a scheme like Todd Bowles that is able to get outplayed every week, and that's outdated. You can have an outdated scheme that just doesn't work anymore. And so that all starts with actually having a proper.
Did
we lose Angus?
I think we lost him, yeah.
Oh, no.
Uh-oh. He was doing so good.
I know. He was killing it. All right. We'll give him a second. Do you want to... Uh-oh.
All right, guys. I think we lost. Dang, it looked like nothing. All right. He's back. Welcome back.
Thank you.
It looked like we lost. I ended up losing both y'all.
Yeah, it said I was having trouble connecting for some reason. Right after Angus dropped off, it said you dropped off, and I'm like, oh, I'm in here alone, and then I dropped off.
Right. I can edit all this stuff though, and later on I can just edit it, make it more clear.
Yeah, no, you're good, dude.
Yeah.
Since we're in a lull right now, which I'm sure you'll edit this part out.
Yeah, I'll edit this part out.
What time do you want to go to, just so I know? Because I know I got work in the morning.
Yeah, I was gonna end with the Bill Belichick discussion, because I know we kind of went long. We started talking about other things.
Yeah, no, it's cool, dude. So I just want to make sure I got my notes pulled up to keep me on task.
Right.
The Hall of Fame question.
Yeah. Bill Belichick did not get into the Hall of Fame.
Nope.
And crazy. Kind of very odd that they when you think of the name Bill Belichick, the first thing that pops into your mind is a Hall of Fame, first ballot Hall of Famer. Six Super Bowls?
Yep.
Something like that. 6 Super Bowls with that
6
with
as
the
a head
team.
coach,
And
2 as an assistant, so he's been to 8.
yeah, he's been to 8, because he was with the Giants like back in the day too before, right?
Yep,
Yeah.
before so
Yeah, that's right. That's right. ESPN article had this to say. It says Bill Belichick, the 8-time Super Bowl winning coach, is not a first ballot Hall of Famer. In voting earlier this month, Bill Belichick fell short of the 40 out of 50 votes needed for induction to the Pro Football Hall of Fame. During his first year of eligibility, four sources with first-hand knowledge of the outcome told ESPN Bill Belichick received a call from a Hall representative Friday afternoon with the news that he won't be inducted in Canton, Ohio this summer. Several sources who spoke with the coach over this weekend described Belichick as puzzled and disappointed by his inability to secure support from at least 80% of Hall of Fame committee members. No, 6 Super Bowls isn't enough, Belichick asked an associate, referring to the championships he won as a head coach of the New England Patriots. It says he won 2 more, as we mentioned, 2 more as a defensive coordinator at the Giants. And to another associate, he said, "What does a guy have to do?" Another source familiar with Belichick's thinking said politics kept him out. He doesn't believe this is a reflection of his accomplishments. This is the Pro Football Hall of Fame does not comment on the voting of the selection committee, and awaits the unveiling of the class of 2026 at NFL Honors on February 5th in San Francisco. A spokesperson for the Hall said in a statement. This is a crazy story. When I first seen this, I looked at my phone. I was like, wait, what? Not a first ballot? I don't understand. Maybe you can help me out here. What is it politics, or what do you think it is?
I don't think it's a knock on Belichick. I think it's a reflection of how the league values context now. I mean, you've got the Brady question that looms in the air, fair or not to Belichick, but I'm sure voters were wrestling with that, going back and forth. How much was Belichick? How much was Brady? Why didn't it work post Brady? So, not to say what Belichick did, even with Brady, isn't a Hall of Fame resume in itself, which it 100% is. I think personally, Belichick's I personally think he's a first ballot Hall of Famer, but like I just said, the league's showing you that it's all about narrative clarity, not just your resume. And they did it to T.O. I think it has a lot to do with how you treated the media by looking at who are the people voting. It's the media. So when you show up for 20 plus years and you're blunt and you're not cooperative and you're not helping the media out, in the end, whether fair or not, they're going to have the last laugh when it comes to the Hall of Fame. And at the end of the day, it's not about legacy. It's about timing and optics.
Yeah. I think that if you're asking the voters, like you mentioned, who are journalists and people of the media, to not have their personal feelings involved, I think that's almost impossible in a situation like this.
I agree.
Like I said, I don't understand how you. I mean, I guess in a way I do, but I don't, because it's Bill Belichick. But like you said, it's about more so about, what they always say: be careful how you treat people on the way up, because you might see those same people on the way down, type of thing. Yeah, I think I agree. I think it's a lot of it had to do with how he was with the media, and unfortunately, it kind of just is what it is. My only question now is if, because I've seen other people say, well, it might be about Spygate and Deflategate, and that might I'm sure that might play a factor. I don't know if that's the whole entire reason, but if that's the case, if you want to put it on that, then that means that Tom Brady is in the Hall of Fame today, because he was the one that benefited from the most.
Yeah.
So it's like, where does it kind of end? So I do think politics is the big main reason why, and like you said, they got the last laugh with him not getting in. Because that other than that, that just made no sense.
I hope it's not about the cheating, and here's why. They've already been punished for it. I mean, how many first round picks did they have to lose? How much money was the New England Patriots fined?
Yep.
Money was Belichick personally fined for
Yeah.
all of the gates and the deflating of the balls and whatever you want to call it. And then number two, I didn't hear a single voter ever say anything about cheating. I never heard that was the issue. From everybody that I heard that had a vote in the case was, when it comes down to Belichick, and there was older senior guys who were on the back end of the ballot that this was their last year. I can't think of names, so I apologize. And if they didn't get in this year, that they wouldn't be up for the Hall of Fame again. And that was a contributing factor to why Belichick didn't make first team. I hate that reasoning, because if you're on the back end in the senior, I think it's called like the senior priority or senior whatever of the Hall of Fame, well, you've already gone through the process and you weren't good enough, clearly, to make it into the Hall of Fame as you waited all those years through the process, and you get in on the back end over a guy like Belichick. I disagree with it, but I understand it at the same time. I mean, you can't treat the guys, like you were saying, that way on your way up and then expect them to be nice to you when you're all said and done for.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that, and like you said, they did the same thing to T.O. Like, if you look at T.O.'s stats, there's no way. Like, these people literally changed the rules to keep T.O. out.
Yep.
And then he had to wait another few years just to even get in. They made a rule. They literally have stated multiple times that we're not going to let anything that happened off the field affect how we vote for you. It's completely about what you did on the field, the stats and what you put in, how you affected the team and the wins that they had. And with T.O., they because for whatever reason, and they tried to, well, they didn't try, they did. They attacked T.O. for years. They called him a diva, and they called him this. And I'm not saying T.O. was perfect. He has his issues and stuff like that. But they will make up their own rules, and they will do certain things if it means getting the last laugh, and if it means making you, trying to humiliate you, they will do it. We just talked about that with Shador.
Yep.
They will find a way to humiliate you. They're going to remind you you're not bigger than the program.
Here's what they've run the risk of by making the stance that they clearly have with Belichick, though. How legitimate do people take the Hall of Fame now? How seriously do you take who they vote in?
That's true.
They have totally illegitimatized the process of picking a Hall of Famer.
Because my question is this: if Belichick's not a Hall of Famer, then who is?
Yep. No, I completely agree with you.
Who is?
Yep. And did you see what Belichick did after he wasn't picked?
No, what happened?
He rescinded his name from the Hall of Fame. So, because he did that, it gets better. Because he did that, he can no longer ever be picked for the Hall of Fame. But since he can't be picked for the Hall of Fame, he is taking all of his memorabilia that is in the Hall of Fame back. And on the same night that the Hall of Fame is going on, he's having his own personal fundraiser and inviting all, including Mr. Kraft and Tom Brady, all the former Patriots to celebrate.
Good on Belichick.
Yeah,
I mean, what you expect a man to do? Good on Belichick.
He said, "If I'm not your first choice, I don't want to be a choice."
Right.
That's what he said.
Hey, listen, I'm not your ex. You can't just text me at late at night talking about, "Hey, big head." Like, nah, bro. Like, nah, dog.
You ex.
It's like Ocho when he made that Hall of Fame jacket on the sidelines. It's the same thing. He's like, listen, y'all would have picked me. I already am a Hall of Famer in my mind.
Yo.
Oh,
my God.
man. That's hilarious.
Thank you. I really do appreciate you inviting me on to your podcast. I had a blast. I love talking with you guys. It was a lot of fun. I
Most
hope I get to
definitely,
come
man.
back on in the future.
Oh, yeah. Listen, we still got a lot of topics with it that we didn't get to.
Yeah.
So it's almost a good thing.
Yeah. Just let me know, dude. I would love to. I had so much fun.
Facts, bro. Listen, man. This has been another episode of the It's Been a Minute podcast. I'm your host, Trevor Augustus. We did have AJ here. Hope he get his everything straight with his all his devices and get everything back right. He has some technical difficulties, guys, but we have Jonathan over here, former high school classmate and former Dr. Phillips standout. Jonathan Pollock, guys, really good guy, really good conversations, man. Appreciate you coming on the show. That's another one in the books, man. Peace.
Peace, man.